I think that any man that force any woman to do anything, it should be like the Arab countries. They just start cutting shit off, to be totally honest, of that man. Any man that forces any woman to do anything, they should treat them like they treat them in the Arab countries and just start cutting shit off. From their fingers, to their hands, to their feet, to their genitals, to their head. You know what I'm saying? So now, another thing of it is that how low do you have to be when you're gonna put somebody on a jet and fly them all the way to New York to the studio? To me, bro, to be totally honest, it sounds kind of fishy to me. I can't, and then it came from Hard Pierre. The Hard Pierre I knew back in them days was a cornball that did everything Puff said. You know what I mean? Like he was one of Diddy's highest dick riders. So I don't know that Hard Pierre. The time they said it happened when I was reading in 2003, I was around at that time. You know what I'm saying? Me and about 8, 9 other bodyguards. See, what people don't know, that Puff had a lot of bodyguards. Everybody has certain days. You understand? I had Saturdays and Sundays. And then when Puff went away, or they were certain place and I was off work, they may call me and say, yo, Gene, Puff wants you here. Can you come? This, that, and the third. And if I could, I would. If I did, I didn't. It wasn't no big thing. So for them to see all the things that she done and just picture, why would somebody lie about her? What is it about her that somebody would want to tell a lie about? I'm not going to mention the other people that's in that frame that I have, because they are so big right now, it would mess up their career. Do you understand me? I'm not the only one with the copy, but I'm the only one. I'm the one who gave it to them. Do you understand me? What she's talking about is that when I said that we were at Kanye West's party in North Hollywood, I was bodyguarding Scott Storch at the time. Do you understand? Listen here, I was bodyguarding Scott Storch. I the one told Scott, let's get up out of here, because they was about to do some damage to us, bro. I can't listen to me, man. So now she's gonna get out there and she's gonna sit up and talk about, yo, he's lying he'll do anything just to get interviews and all that stuff. Man, listen to me. I got way more stories than a Gloria Velez story. I got a whole lot of stories they never even heard of. So me saying what she said, come on, man. That's some real thirsty, desperate shit for them to fly a 17-year-old girl, you know, on a G5. They was flying G5 and G4 jets back then. All the way to New York to gang her in the studio. Man, I wish I could give them their punishment, if that's true.
Yeah, that's what she said, man. She said that Diddy, he flew her to New York, took her to the studio, gave her a drink, the game, and there's pictures online too. So she was at his studio, Daddy House. So, I mean, she ain't lying about that. She was there, man.
Well, if anything, at that time, if anything came from Detroit, it was one of Puff A&R. They called him Slam. He was from Detroit. He used to set up everything, you know, for Diddy. The time I told y'all about Diddy getting the fellatio when Jennifer Lopez was upstairs, Slam set that up. You know what I mean? So if it came from Detroit, it probably came from Slam. Because he was another one of the dudes that was a flunky around there. You know, but it's crazy, man. I really don't, I got daughters, man. I have words, I don't have words for that, bro. And I don't know any of the guys who were officers that worked for Bad Boy like myself would allow that shit to happen. They wouldn't allow that shit to go down. Puff and them, they know what to do with certain people around. You understand? When they got those dudes who was, you know, from the hood and they was doing bodyguard work and they was doing stuff like that, they maybe, but I don't know any of the officers that I knew that was working for Puff would allow any of that shit to go down. Because they know they could lose their job and they could be brought up. We picked them up in Dallas. One of the NBA basketball players introduced them to her. He asked me to go get something. I went and got it. He said, yo, Gene, they want to F you, while he was laying in the bed with both of them. And I said, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm all right. And walked out. That's the only time. Owed Diddy something. I don't know what she owed him, but she would let Diddy know wherever Jennifer was at so he could do something. He was trying to get Luther Vandross over there to sing to her. You know what I'm saying? He was gonna sing, he was trying to get Luther Vandross over there to sing to Jennifer. You know, so, but Jennifer wasn't going for that because she had went through enough of his bull crap. Even when we come to the studio and there's like mad girls up in there and they being disrespectful or whatever like that, he was trying to convince her that, you know, because he was in the industry, he had to have mad.
You think about if Harley was part of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house right now? My kids go to Sierra Canyon. It's a Jewish school that doesn't teach Christianity to these Christian kids. At Christmas time, they're teaching Kwanzaa to black kids. They say, hey, this is your Christmas. This is all indoctrination. This is all mind control. You gotta understand, like I don't believe I'm putting myself at risk because I think God uses me for a time like this. He put me in this situation and had y'all follow me from George Bush Don't Care to Beyoncé had the best video to now. For some reason, y'all are interested. Chuchen said, why sell belt buckle? Well, y'all know is looking. Like, y'all are interested for some reason. And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right? Yeah. I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really?
If they can't scare you, they can't control you, they can't, they try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize you.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
you see,
you.
it ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying?
The recent fallout from Diddy's arrest has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, with new reports hinting that arrest warrants have been issued for several celebrities allegedly linked to his criminal activities. The investigation into Diddy's parties has widened, and sources suggest that up to 7 high-profile figures could now be facing charges. This list reportedly includes major stars such as Jay-Z and Jennifer Lopez, adding even more intrigue to an already sensational case.
The first person I saw was B, and Beyonce was like, yo, let me holler at you. And I'm like,
Beyonce said, let me holler at you?
Yeah. So I was like, yo, you know, so I went over there and hollered, and she was like, yo, yeah, and she was just telling me like you know, that they rock with me.
That.
They rock with me, and they, you know what I mean, like they didn't know what that. And I really didn't even think when I was saying it,
These
like
are real people that you're talking about.
yeah, I just didn't really connect to it like that. You know what I mean? And you say a lot of things, and punchline-y style is just to say something to be catchy and metaphoric and catch up. But I didn't, you know, see the deeper side of it. And Beyonce, you know, I ain't gonna share the exact conversation, but she showed me, you know, told me like, you know, this is people, like, you know what I mean? Saying something like that could personally hurt her. And that kind of,
so I had days that I devoted to. On Wednesdays, I took off from work, and that was Solange's day. And she was a lot younger than Beyonce. And it was tough because she was 5 years older, and Beyonce was this little superstar in our city. And so I took them to counseling so that very early, so that the counselor could help Beyonce be more sensitive to Solange, because she couldn't stand it for a minute. You know, when they were little, she was 5, she was all in her stuff. She was trying to hang around her and her friends, and Beyonce was really irritated. But it made her more sensitive to who her sister.
Oh, it's my soulmate. It's the person I love, you know. And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone, and you're not. And if you haven't experienced love, you don't understand it, and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications. Period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For Black men and women, you know, just to see a different outcome, like you were saying. It's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just had...
Those documents that came out yesterday, including 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What surprised you the most about what you read yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, that, Brian, was was definitely an alarming graph of the indictment when you read that when they raided, I believe it was the Miami home, where they found 1,000 bottles of, and they said that these were items that were used at the freak-offs. There were also large amounts of drugs, they said, cocaine, ketamine, Molly, GHB, the rape drug. So, you know, they said that the house, according to the feds, that was stocked for these parties that were going on. And then to read their description of how Diddy, as they say, lured women into joining these parties. And they say that he would meet them or lure them, get to know them, and lure them in thinking they would think that there was going to be a romantic relationship with him. And then it would turn out that they would be at these freak-offs where they would be forced to have, or drugged and forced to have sex with male prostitutes that he was bringing in. And that's one of the counts that he's facing also, is the transportation of individuals for a purpose of prostitution. So really alarming allegations laid out in court. Diddy, of course, has pled not guilty to all of it. And then the real kicker for him at the end of the day was that the judge said, you will be held without bail. And that means however long it takes for this trial to begin, he will be in a federal detention facility in Brooklyn, and not a very nice one. In fact, a fairly notorious one. So you got to figure it. He wants out of there.
I met Diddy at pre-party, and I met him when he was in a love era. And I met Diddy when the world was celebrating him and giving him his flowers while he was alive. Like he did. He was getting the Global Icon Award, the Lifetime Achievement Award, the Key to the City. He had a new album that was coming out. So I was celebrating him with the world. And I just feel like everybody trying to crucify me for it. Like, you was his biggest advocate. You was his cheerleader, but I was just celebrating when the world was celebrating him. So why am I being crucified, or why am I being separated?
In these gatherings may not have been mere bystanders.
Have you seen this video? Unearthed by the Daily Mail. It turns out we should have been paying attention to what Sean Combs was saying all these years. P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever. He's actually on video basically saying, we're about to do some stuff here that's pretty adult.
And to all the kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, you know, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. In an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good. Hey, DJ, let's do it.
There you go. Again, video is showing up all over the place. Audio is showing up all over the place. People are starting to talk about what was going on. It makes you wonder, how exactly was he able to hide this for as long as he did? And if all these allegations are true, come on.
But it is apropos in this particular situation. Remember what Suge Knight said? Y'all remember that? When Suge Knight said he was in a world of trouble? Because Suge Knight said, listen, he knows a lot. And so you're looking at a potential situation where it could arguably mirror that of Jeffrey Epstein. Remember him? August 10th, 2019. Prison guards found, I'm reading right from online. Guards found American financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein unresponsive in his jail cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City, where he was awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. Tried to perform CPR, couldn't resuscitate him, pronounced dead at a downtown hospital at 6:39 a.m. What it went on to say in the reports that there were violations because normal jail procedures on the night of Epstein's death wasn't followed. It talked about a malfunction of 2 cameras in front of his cell. And you got people still to this very day with their conspiracy theories being thrown out there that it wasn't suicide, but ultimately intentional harm was brought to him because he knew too much about too many people. That's what Suge Knight alluded to when he was talking about P. Diddy. And as we sit here today, who the hell can deny that potential reality? Do we know? No.
Increasing complexity of the case, a new judge has been assigned to oversee Diddy's legal proceedings. This appointment comes as federal prosecutors gear up to handle an expanding list of defendants, which includes several high-profile names. The decision underscores the gravity of the situation, with the possibility of an even broader investigation looming. Many celebrities linked to Diddy's parties are said to be in a state of panic as arrest warrants and subpoena subpoenas. Rumors of secret tapes containing compromising footage of stars like Jay-Z and Kim Kardashian have only intensified the scandal, sending shockwaves through Hollywood.
Also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes.
You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
Yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
the
I can't
tape.
explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Some of these stories, because I think it's important to point this out. When you highlight and you talk about some of the charges that have been leveled against him, and you see some of the stuff that's being said about him. Look at this right here. Former Danity Kane singer Aubrey O'Day writes, "I never thought I would see this day," she told TMZ. "We all buried this inside of us in order to be able to keep going. And not just me, but victims you don't even know yet. We're all processing what that type of vindication can actually feel like now. Every conversation I've had with victims last night has been beyond moving on all levels." That was Aubrey O'Day. You know 50 Cent was gonna make sure his voice was heard. Clowning P. Diddy. Taunting him, basically, because he's long taunted P. Diddy for years over the harrowing allegations against him. And what does he say here? This is yesterday, 50 Cent. "Here I am, keeping good company with the Drew Barrymore TV show. And I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house." 50 Cent was referencing the over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricants for the freak-offs that the indictment revealed were allegedly found during the raid of Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami back in March.
Celebrities, including Jay-Z, have reportedly gone into hiding after the FBI issued warrants to search their properties. An attorney involved in Diddy's case has allegedly reviewed incriminating footage that features several high-profile figures, some even more influential than Diddy himself. These tapes are said to contain compromising activities recorded at Diddy's infamous parties, potentially implicating major stars in the illegal events now under investigation.
So as you guys know, right now, because Diddy's arrested, a bunch of these Kardashian clips are once again going viral. And it has to do with Khloe, Kourtney, they're talking about Diddy parties, you name it. Well, there's even a little bit more that I don't think I covered. This is from The Sun, here we go. So at the time, Khloe told her sister Kourtney that she had spent the night partying with a string of famous faces. She said that I got on a plane at 5:30 in the morning. Well, this party, I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it. But we then turned to her co-star, Kaja, I don't know how to say it, and said, have you met Khloe's new like crew of friends? To which she replied, yes. Yeah, I don't think I covered that, so oh my goodness. Also, I want to point this out. When you guys watch the Kardashian clips where they're talking about these Diddy parties and you really like watch them, you can tell it's almost like they knew it was weird or bizarre or shocking, right? So like Khloe said something along the lines like, oh, Kourtney, did you like the party? And Kourtney's like, yeah. And then they talk about it and then Khloe's like, you loved it? Like, I don't know. It just seems weird to be talking about a party because usually when you go to a party, everyone's like, yeah, the party was sick. It was great. It was a good time. But like how they're talking about it just even seems off, bro. I'm just saying. Who knows, man?
As if you didn't need another reason to dislike Will Smith. Well, after watching this video, and mind you, it is a little disturbing, so please keep that in mind. Jaden says his mother sold him to Diddy, just like Usher handed Justin over to Diddy, and he had to attend those so-called camps, and they did the same thing to him that they did to Justin. So his mother actually forced him into these horrible acts. Also, Will and Jada used Jaden for their own freak-off parties, and Jaguar Wright said young men have actually ran screaming out of their house just to get away from them. So she did say that they do really weird things in that house. Also, Will, his assistant, he actually walked in on Will having schmegs with another man. Also, Jada introduced Jaden to some altering pills, and the fact that she had schmeg with one of his friends for 4 years. And guess what? Will didn't mind because he was batting for the other team and having affairs with young men that were in the industry under the guise of mentorship. And he used that to manipulate all of them. This is so disturbing, I can't even tell you how sad I feel for Jaden. Also for what they have put him through. His life probably would have ended up differently. So if they had just freaking been normal. And Jaden, he emancipated from his parents when he was 16 and he refused to even come back to do family interviews. So I just hope that one day both him and Justin get the help that they need and can move on from all of this. I'm Peanut, and that's my perspective.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.
Kim Porter's book says Kim had tapes of Diddy having relations, air quotes, with Jay-Z, Will Smith, and others. Okay, so I told you guys yesterday, and I played a couple of little clips from his interview, but I told you that I was going to sit down and watch the whole thing and come back and talk to you guys about it. So it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I watched it for you guys so you wouldn't have to, okay? Now, there's a lot of things that this guy is saying that I don't believe when it comes to him and this flash drive that he has. He claims that Kim Porter's friends gave him a flash drive, and that's where he got the book idea and the stuff to write this book that he's put out on Amazon that Amazon now has taken back, okay? But although that he is saying some things that just seem very far-fetched and untrue because he hasn't proven it, the people are saying there's a lot of things that can be true, and he is saying that he is actually going to produce finally the evidence. So for people like me who don't believe him or maybe believe some things and don't believe, he's saying that if it comes to it and he's pushed to litigation, that he is going to prove the fact that he does have this flash drive, and on these flash drive there are tapes with Will Smith and Jay-Z and others. He said, and I'm going to play the clip for you in a second, he says Will Smith and Jay-Z can be bisexuals. Actually, you know what? Let me not even paraphrase this guy. I'm gonna just play the clip. Listen to what he says about Will Smith and Jay-Z and about them
being
and people with foolishness and people with
understood
malcontent, but we are sifting through that and trying to make sure that we identify and vet people that have real claims, legitimate, credible claims. Right now, we're talking about 120 people from 25 different states for conduct that occurred over 25 years.
25 different states? Is that what you said? Not cities. You said 25 different states.
Yeah. Because, a lot of these parties obviously took place in Los Angeles, New York, Manhattan, or the Hamptons, and Miami. And a lot of these people were flown in. And this wasn't a secret. I mean, it was known that people were being flown in for these parties. People were being paid cash to attend these parties. People were being identified at clubs or at concerts or on the street even, and invited to these parties. So you have that group of people that are involved. And then you have another group, and maybe this is the more sinister situation, where, young people with stars in their eyes, wanting to break into the entertainment industry with promises of stardom, who are taken advantage of, in some cases allegedly drugged and abused, and basically just left behind, with shame.
Jennifer Lopez's connection to Diddy has come back into the spotlight as both her personal and professional ties to the music mogul are now under scrutiny. Lopez, who dated Diddy in the early 2000s, has been linked to several events at his infamous parties. Although there is no confirmation of her involvement in any illegal activities, her name appearing on the arrest warrant list has sparked a media frenzy. Legal experts suggest that Lopez might be called to testify, especially considering her past association with Diddy during a 1999 nightclub shooting incident.